Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to another episode, another segment, broadcast, chapter, scripture, however you want to see it. Uh, Welcome to the Universal Temple or the Universal Temple for the sun, planet, moon, and stars. And tonight's special guest is Keith Little. And later on, we may have King El Bay in the building. Um, Tonight, though, we're going to focus on the instrument of full powers, and the instrument of accession. I just sent Keith the link, so I'm waiting for him to come in the building, and we're gonna get it popping. If y'all been watching other shows, y'all already know how we do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You see, I got my comedic theme on for the night. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm usually universal flagged out and all that. I stay with my universal flag, though. I always, I stay with the universal. You know what I mean? But the universal, you know what I mean? And we in the universal temple, so you already know what it is. So you know what I'm saying. But yeah, we had to represent the comedic queens. You know what I'm saying? And you see the God as well, comedic God. You know what I'm saying? We had to rep. You know what I'm saying? Asabu. You know, yeah, man. So yeah, man. So like I say, our special guest tonight is Keith Little. And one thing I can say about Keith, I've been watching a lot of his videos and whatnot, man. This man is very well studied, very well versed, you know, knowledgeable in many different fields. And I really respect people like that because intelligence, you know what I'm saying? It's like how they say a mind is a terrible thing to waste. You know what I mean? So, I like when people utilize their mind and put it to good use. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Build on knowledge, build on information that's helpful to themselves and others. You know what I mean? Knowledge born equality. You know what I mean? It is my favorite drink, y'all. That Vita Malta. Y'all be wondering what I be drinking. Like, oh, y'all be think I be drinking. Like, yo, niggas getting drunk on the show and shit. Nah. Vita Malta. This with coconut hibiscus. It's a Malta drink, a malt. You know what I'm saying? Wheat barley, basically. The main ingredient, wheat barley. That stuff the Rastas be drinking. Yeah, I love this drink, man. That drink in me herb, man. Together. Yeah, man. But so yeah, man. All right, man. Damn, keep I sent you the link. What's going on, bro? So yeah, so like I said, tonight we're gonna deal with the instrument of full powers and the instrument of accession. And as far as when you're dealing with the laws of nations, the laws of treaties, you know what I'm saying? You wanna deal with this instrument because this is the instrument that allows you to um, accede or become part to a treaty. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're joined to the treaty. So now, once you're joined to the treaty, that puts you on the same international level as the country that you acceded to, or whatever the case may be. So the science is that you wanna accede to your treaty, and you wanna bring yourself into an international forum so that you can be internationally recognized. And then there's a whole lot of other stuff we can do as well. I didn't even get into all of that. I'm gonna wait till I get my session done. Then I'm gonna speak on the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But because everybody was like, well, oh, you gotta get certain things done, and when people see you get it done, then they're gonna do it. Yeah, Johnny come lately ass, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? I just know that the reality is that most people ain't interested in getting certain things done as far as estate planning, putting their lawful legal affairs in order. You know what I'm saying? They ain't about really studying and learning a whole new language for a whole new field of study to apply to their life. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? For those who are interested in stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? For those who are interested in setting up some kind of structure to, like I keep saying, protect the assets of wealth for their family, you know what I'm saying? Then also you want to create that structure so that you can teach your children how to maintain the structure, so that now, they have like a whole course on, college. Keep coming in now. A whole like college course on, basically how to keep the trust going, how to keep the will going, how to keep everything, going in the family and keeping the wealth in the family. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's about, generational wealth. So we want to keep wealth in the family via will and trust, things of that nature. So this is what we're building on. Peace, peace, peace. And special guest is here in the building. None other than Keith Little. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the universe. You and I verse all simple, rather I said.
Greetings.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So I was just telling, man, telling the viewers that I respect Keith Little, man, because Keith Little is one who endeavors in study. You know what I'm saying? I like minds, man. I like people that study, people intellectuals, people that use their mind. You know what I'm saying? So I always like coming together and building with you, man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want you to think I'm giving you like false flattery or nothing like that. Like I really mean everything I say, man. Like actual facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many people I be coming across, man? You know what I mean? You talk to them about certain things, they be like, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. You know what I'm saying? But when you come across somebody that you can actually build with, that studies as well, that knows what they're talking about, that could break stuff down. See, because I always say a teacher is one who can explain knowledge. If you claim to have knowledge and you can't explain that knowledge, then you're not a teacher. And
Yeah,
and the reality is like, some people say, well, yo, everybody's not a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but the reality is that if you can't teach somebody else, then what have you taught yourself?
exactly.
You
And
know what
and
I
the,
mean?
and the perfect way to explain this, people, is if you learned how to ride a bike and then you had a child, would you not be qualified to then teach that child how to ride a bike?
Right,
This is the same principle that it should be uniform throughout all jurisdictions. So, if you have already learned yourself by going to school, shouldn't you already be able to teach your own child, and therefore not any longer, because of your own competence, be able to be required to send your children to public school? Should you not be able to teach them through your own spirituality of your own experience now? Isn't this, if you read their welfare laws and their public education laws, it is to educate the people so that they are no longer dependent upon the government. That is the very intent of their welfare laws. So we just need to learn how to use them against them by using reason and logic, just like I just pointed out. By reason and logic. If you already know reading, writing, and arithmetic, and you are qualified because you have your own diploma documents they gave you, should you not already now be qualified to then teach that to your youngers? Just like you would if you were able to learn how to ride a bike. Now you can teach them how to ride a bike. If you learn how to draw, you can teach somebody how to draw. If you learn how to work a potter's wheel, you can teach somebody how to work a potter's wheel. If you're advanced at bushcraft skills, you can teach other bushcraft skills. That's the inherent knowledge, is what we already know. So why are we giving that up by sending our children to public education? That's our main duty, is to pass on our talents.
Oh, hold on. Is he saying we shouldn't send our kids to school? Is he saying we should send our kids to the indoctrination system? To be
Oh, heck no. No.
indoctrinated?
We have options and people just don't exercise them.
Yeah. I say send your kids to school, but do the homework with them so you can explain both sides of everything. You know what I mean?
Do the Amish send their children to enforced public schools? No,
Nope.
they have little school buildings, and they do have people that will come out and work with them on the concise English. That's the only thing they agree to, is concise English. And the kids themselves can determine whether they want to drop out of school or not for any reason.
Mm.
That's one of their religious beliefs, is to be able to go back home and just learn it from mom and dad. Because by what I just expressed, if mom and dad already know it and you're using it to read the scripture, then what is the arithmetic about it? God teaches us about numbers too, and those are cyclical.
Mm.
They all run in cycles.
Just like if you were to go to school from first to 12th grade, and then you go to college, you can get what's called a master's degree. 13th letter of the alphabet is M, is master, and college will be like 13th grade. So once you reach that top of that pinnacle, you know what I mean? You reach
Right.
that you become that all-seeing eye. Now you get what's called a master's degree, and you're qualified to teach from first to 12th grade. And that's
Right.
to the ancient mystic schools where you had to learn 12 sciences before you became a master teacher or master builder.
Yes, and that 12th grade, see, we relegate or relate that to the age of 18, which is the age of majority, which is a man. And so when we see master, it's not master. We're already stars in the eyes of God. Now, instead of being child stars, we are man stars. Aster standing for star. We are man asters, man stars, masters. We can now shine. Like you said, teach our talents.
Peace. Word is bond. And that's like that. It's like that. Like you see on the dollar bill, the pyramid. You got the 12 steps, and then you got a little hiatus, and then you got that 12 capstone, that 13 capstone, and that's
Yep.
the master. Or as they say, Jesus was the sun, and he traveled with 12 disciples. Those are 12 constellations that the sun traveled through. You know what I mean?
Right. And there's another cycle after that too, brother, because see, we went from the age of majority back in the day used to be 21. Okay. And they changed it. Now it's 18. And that's a correction. And what it is when you're 18, then you go out for a few years, like you said, that hiatus, but then you go back to business. But when you go back to business, it's because you've gone out those 3 years and you've been teaching. And in that teaching, you've gotten new insight from the teaching perspective that now begs you to go learn more through higher education. And so now you've got 4-year college, and that takes you to the age of 25, and that's when you're supposed to get married. Now you've got full acquiring of knowledge and how to use the scripture and your observances and experiences in life through wisdom to be able to wisely pick a wife and name that wife. Another mistake that people are still making today. We don't just accept a wife in her name. She has a maiden name, a maiden voyage. And now that she's landed in a house, the house that she lands in, just like Adam named his wife Eve. God named them Adam. Male and female created he them, and he called their name Adam. Then when he took a rib from Adam and created a wife, he called it a wife. And it was Adam's duty to name his wife. Why do we name a wife? Because in a trust, we're not required to expose the beneficiary. And if there's any trust duties, as the wife would be granted trusteeship over any heirs that the father granted his seed to her to carry in warehouse for 9 months and then bear his child through doing the labor of his good works, then there's a trust. But see, people perceive that trust doesn't happen until that child is born. No. The trust is expressed because that's the intent. And that's why we name the wife a trustee, and that takes her out of that pre-marriage element of who she really is as a woman. And now she's known as a wife in trust, and it should be an inter vivos trust expressed only simply by actions, walking hand in public. No other man would walk up to a woman that was holding the hand of another man and not automatically assume that there is some kind of connection between the two, whether it be the concept of a golden ring on their finger or not. They are in possession. They have and hold each other.
Right, to have and hold, right.
Yeah, see? And that's how deep it goes. You need no ring. The ring is a circle that encompasses in reason and logic that if any man possesses any assets through his woman and his heirs, it is automatic reason and logic. That same concept that the woman would be the trustee for the property being passed to the heirs. That's reason and logic. That's trust logic. And that's everything operates on that one thing alone. Reason and logic of that trust element. Express it.
And through inheritance, they give her the possession of the child as far as the state is concerned. They give her the possession of the child. But this is why we're stressing the importance of the man coming to the laws of succession, so that we can have some kind of influence and power as the real, true head of household. Because at any time, the woman wants to get into some kind of, get her panties in a bunch and feel some kind of way, get an attitude, and y'all get into some BS, and the police get called. Now, all this type of shit.
It tells us in the Bible, a woman's supposed to stand, you either stand with me or you stand against me. My word goes because I'm following his word.
Right.
Now, the only excuse for not doing so is if you're actually not following his word.
Right. See, because even in the biblical, understanding, it says how, God is ahead of Christ, Christ is ahead of man, man is ahead of woman, woman is ahead of the child. So, how these women be assuming, how women be like, oh, I got a personal relationship with Jesus, so I got a personal relationship with God, but you don't have no relationship with a man. So, and if the man is your head, and his head is Christ, then how are you going to have a connection to Christ unless you have a connection to the man?
Yep, exactly.
You have to go through the man to get to Christ. Just like the child got to go through the mother to get to the father, you know what I'm saying? The woman got to go through man to get to Christ. The man got to go through Christ to get to God. According to that structure. So the woman can't just deny the man and be like, oh, I got a relationship with God. I'm one with God. I got a personal relationship.
And that's because the man, too, has fallen to the fallacy that he's only worth it if he's got something of substance in his hand.
Right.
But as I just explained, it shouldn't take anything but your talents, and that's what should connect you. You in all of your talents, think about it again, brother, in all of your talents. The intent of every trust is to eventually have nothing and pass everything on. So why be worried about everything that you have? Just gain as much as you can, and as soon as you do, give it away.
Right.
Always remain in nothing.
Right.
That way nobody can make a claim. Can you be held liable? Can you squeeze blood from a turnip?
Right. It's like, it's like the story with the man when Jesus came to the city and the man was asking him, he said, I've been a righteous man, I've been a good man. What can I be to be good like you? And Jesus said, what makes you call me good? No man is good but God. And then he says, if you want to be a good man, if you want to be a righteous man, give away all your possessions. And the guy, he's like, damn, I don't know about that. He's kind of at a standstill, like, well, damn, like, what you mean? Man, like, it's all my possessions. What you mean give away all of this? Like, yo, I ain't trying to give this up. But you know what I mean? But yeah, so in the sense of like you're saying, as far as to the family, ain't nothing, we can't take none of this to the grave. You know what I mean? Like even like the Egyptians. The reason why the Kemetic people took things to their grave because it was a science about helping the ether body or the astral body project into the astrals. They used, in the pyramids they had shafts. They had openings where shafts would come down and light would shine through there, bounce off a certain crystals or elements, and then bounce back out. And in those things, in those shafts connected to the tombs, they taught that the soul was there, so that through the energetic energy of the sunlight coming down through the shafts and using the crystals or rubies or whatever kind of stones they use to help the etheric energy project back out into the astrals. They set all of that up. So literally, when they say your soul goes to heaven, they made sure of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll make sure my energy go back up into the cosmos. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that's how they set it up. You know what I mean? So like, it was real deep. You know what I mean? And so but people think like, oh, they wanted to hold on to their possessions. No. And certain things that
it tells us, give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give unto our Father what belongs to our Father. And at the same time, and I've told you before, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by name, thou art mine. That tells us we're his possession. We are the res of the trust. We are the property. So who has a right to transfer us, you or him? And in the meantime, remember, if we're property, we are property and we live in earth. We are not of earth. We are his property and we live in earth. That means Mother Earth is his purse. You get that? We're his property and he keeps us in Mother Earth because Mother Earth is his purse. That's where all the prosperity is held. It's where all the profit is. Coin thy words or purse thy lips. So yeah, it's great to be with you because like I said, you catch on quick, brother. And that's what we need is some people that are going to step up quick and put this stuff together. It really isn't that hard. It's been a long, hard road for me anyway. And it's a long, hard road for a lot of us. But just like the bike thing, the better we get at it, the easier it gets. The easier it gets, the easier it is for us to teach others. And then the easier it is for them to learn. So they're learning sooner. And then we're able to perfect it even better. And that's, again, I'm not here to destroy the law. We're here to fulfill the law. Fulfilling of the law is merely trying to be perfect in his way. That's it. That's not being perfect, but trying to be perfect. None of us are perfect, never will be. But we can come as near as may be by always keeping that on the top of our mind and realizing, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's it.
Striving for perfection. You know what I mean? Like you said, you never be perfect, but the idea is to strive for perfection. So that way you're constantly adding on and you're constantly getting better and better. You know what I mean?
Well, and this is the very concept of why we have the idea of forgiveness, because we know we're not perfect. So we may as well, that's the remedy for not being perfect is forgiveness.
I'm pulling up this document, the full powers document. I kind of, I don't know if it's like complete. I wanted to get your your C on it on the session instrument. I pretty much did that up, but I got to do the full powers one. Really switch to that verse actually. Oh damn! I had this thing sitting right here. I was trying to see it. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, man. All right. Yes, I got it. All right. So yeah. So we should do the full powers one first, right? All right.
Yeah, you're gonna let them basically know that nobody's got any powers anymore. I'm of age and majority, sound mind about it, whatever terms you end up using in your sessions, and amendments.
Yeah, because you mean as far as amend? Now I haven't amended anything yet. I I kind of just like filled it into my best ability. I'll show you what I have here. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's not sharing anymore.
Nope.
Is it?
Came up for a second and then shut right back down.
All right. All right. So here we got. All right. Instrument of full power to be. I put to be autographed by Lord Messiah Allah El, who is divinely appointed as Minister of Foreign Affairs. I was gonna put for the Universal, you know what I mean, my organization in there, but I was like, okay, let me just save some of that verbiage for down here. So then full powers, I put I, Lord Messiah Allah El, who is divinely appointed as Minister of Foreign Affairs, declares that the international organization of the Universal Temple for the Sun, Planet, Moon, and Stars hereby authorizes Lord Messiah Allah El, who is divinely appointed as Minister of Foreign Affairs, to sign, ratify, denounce, affect the following declaration in respect of, etc. The I put Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1836 on behalf of the said international organization to be international, and this is how I kind of stated my own international recognition by just placing it saying to be internationally recognized as the Universal Temple for the Sun, Planet, Moon, and Stars. And then I say done at United States of America without the United States. Let me take that out without the United States.
I would put to on behalf of the said international organization, now known and internationally recognized.
Okay.
Now known and internationally recognized.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, hold on, wait. I was supposed to put the name and the name of the temple, right? Like Lord Messiah Allah El Universal Temple. Uh, you have you done yours up there, or you still you said you're gonna when you're ready to ratify them, then you're gonna
When I'm ready to ratify it, I'll do it.
all right. So so yeah, so done at United States of America on date. Date is open. Autograph is open, and yeah, I guess that's it, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So this is the instrument of accession. Um, to be autographed by Lord Messiah Allah El, who is divinely appointed as Minister of Foreign Affairs, whereas the Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1836 was acceded to. Now, you said we could put a different term for accede.
If it was acceded, then it's acceded. If you're accepting it, you can use adopt with intent to implement or something like that. Because that's all I'm doing right now. I'm adopting everything until it's perfected. I don't want to sign anything. So we're in arbitration. That's how contracts work.
Okay. Was adopted with intent to implement at the United States, America, on said date. Date is open. Now, therefore, I, Lord Messiah Allah El, who is divinely appointed as a divine minister, as Minister of Foreign Affairs, declare that the International Organization of Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Can you see this page here, the second page I'm on, that session one, or is it still showing the full powers?
It's still showing the full powers top page.
Sorry. All right, let me. All right, so yeah, all right. All right, having considered the above mentioned Treaty of Peace and Friendship of 1836, accedes to the same, undertakes faithfully to perform and carry out the stipulations therein contained. In witness thereof, I have signed this instrument of accession to, at the United States of America on said date, and which is open and autograph is open.
It's still not showing that second page, brother.
Hold on 1 second.
It's like it's only scrolling down, and then your viewer is freezing or something.
All right, you see this here now?
There we go.
All right. So now when I go over here, I'm just like kind of, you can see it going up and down as I'm moving it. All right, cool. All right. So I thought he has an instrument of accession to be autographed by. All right, now, therefore. So yeah, and basically it's kind of like you're saying, like the last one too, like treaty peace friendship proceeds the same, undertakes faithfully to perform and carry out the stipulations therein contained, in witness of I have signed this instrument of accession at United States of America on said date, autograph open, and yeah, that's that. I mean, I know it was easy and everything like that. Like I said, my thing was just to get the everything properly formatted. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Now, the only thing I might add in there is under the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1836, is see to the same without commercial purpose and undertakes faithfully to perform and carry out the stipulations therein contained otherwise.
I see it's to the same. A seat to the same.
Without commercial purpose.
Purpose or liability. Yeah, well, I guess if it's not in purpose, you're not, you know what I mean, like that. But I just
yeah, there you go.
Picture, yeah, man. So without commercial purpose and undertakes faithfully to perform and carry out stipulations therein contained otherwise. Did I say the same thing on the other one? All right, cool. So, all right, so yeah, so I guess that's pretty much done up then. And now, okay, now I want to go back to the treaty handbook and see what do we do now with these, because now it says, I think at the end too they have like a notice of a certificate of something. What was that? Hold on. Let me pull it up.
Excuse me.
All right, so for full powers, it says secure signature of treaty without. Oh yeah, Keith too. Like if we're going in for some time tonight, I'd say for example, you remember what time we started this? We did started this about let's say about like half hour ago.
Yeah, about 10 after.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stop it at like an hour, and then we'll come back in and do another segment, because I noticed when I tried to upload it on Facebook, maybe they took it off because it was too long. I remember one was like 3 hours long, but even though I know they got longer times on Facebook, but they took it down because of the content. They was hating, but I'm gonna just try to do hour segments so that way, I won't have no problem uploading it and all of that, or blah blah blah.
Yeah, that. I think about that when I do when I'm getting ready to start doing my YouTube videos. I just figured out how to do the live stream and everything, so I'm gonna start doing my lives on YouTube, but I'm gonna limit them to about 20 minutes or so. That's about the average listening span.
Yeah, word is bomb, right? Yeah, that's another thing too. I know. I be like, man, people don't. That's why I say this is for the true builders, man, because most people, man, shit. Most people ain't listen with this TikTok shit and all this, man. People ain't listening past 15 seconds.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they want them quick little amusing clips, and that's it.
Little dumb shit. Did you see that?
Yeah, 15-second clip of a cat falling and landing on his feet gets 15 million views. I'm speaking real truth, and I can't get 5.
You know what I'm saying? Can't even get motherfuckers to look like. I be like, yo. But then people, that's what I say. That's why I be like, people be thinking I'm mad on. I'm like, yo, man, if people be claiming to be And
Well, it's because I don't have all the bright lights and mirrors and cameras and makeup and, the fine clothes and all that, People believe in that stuff. And if you're successful in what you're doing, that's what you attain. Whereas if you're really trying to attain true freedom, you shed off all that possessional stuff and realize your true wealth is in the treasury in heaven. And if you never make it there, guess what? You're stuck in this plane with nothing.
right. And you're just,
Because if you think you own it, you don't.
right. People be thinking it's I mean like life is in the now, but you know what I'm saying, we do have to think about, like I say, generations after, because I do bear witness to karma and dharma, you know what I'm saying? As to where, the conditions of your life is gonna affect your next generation. So that's why I'm like really into all of this, you know what I'm saying, as far as, estate planning and all of this type of stuff, because I know that this is planning for the future, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, see, people get worried a lot because they think it's so hard because they've never done it before. Well,
Right.
if you do your research, you find out that it's actually pretty easy because it tells you how to do it.
Right, yeah.
Certificate of trust, for instance. Everybody's trying to figure out how to draw up this certificate of trust. Well, it depends on who you're working with in order to establish your trust and everything. And it's not a matter of showing that the trust is already there. It's showing that you are intending to establish a trust and you need help. And that's all the reason that other person is there for, is to help you figure out the research on how to do it if you have problems. But the simple thing is, you draw up your own certificate verifying that you established a trust. Here's its name, here's its parties, without naming the beneficiaries, or here's its bylaws. They're going to be wanting certain information, but there's only certain information they can actually get that you can limit them to. And when you learn this stuff, that's all it takes. Name, rank, serial number. The name of the trust, where it sits, and its number. The name, location, and number.
Right.
Do they need your identification then? No. You're named in the instrument as a trustee, a grantee, or a beneficiary.
Right. And you wouldn't be unless you establish that. So,
right. And that's private information.
Right. That you don't have
to talk to the council.
Right. That's what I was talking earlier. I said, people don't understand about Trump when he said he's about to go back to Florida and live as a private citizen. And people's getting so caught up over this tax thing. And I'm like, this man Trump is a real sovereign. People want to talk about being sovereign. He's really sovereign.
Yeah, they question, well, I want to see his tax filings. Yeah. He doesn't file taxes because he does everything private, which is exempt.
Right, he's exempt. And even if he did file any taxes, his tax information is private. He don't have to disclose that.
Well, and then they tried to use his position as president against him and say, well, he has to disclose it. No. First of all, again, that was prior to his presidency, so he doesn't have to expose that. And second, in his presidency, he didn't take the emoluments, so he wasn't required not only to pay taxes, but even report anything, because he didn't accept anything as the emoluments. He didn't take the president's pay. He did it all as a donation.
Right. Yeah. See, that's nothing people didn't understand. So people don't understand. And people are like, oh, it's all about money. Man, he's already rich, man. He don't need no damn money, man. You know what I'm saying? So
people think he's part of this thing with the presidency and the government and the two-faced and Republican. No. If he returns to presidency, it's because of his capacity as a private individual, and he's doing it. He's going to donate his time again, which is just going to prove his record. He is not. I honestly don't think he's part of it.
This what he was fighting the deep state, as they say. See what I'm saying? And this what people gotta understand. America tried to take their, historic and collective racism and put it on this one man. So now all so-called minorities, so all black and brown people, all everybody talk about, oh, he's racist, he's racist. Man, you can't take the whole country's, stigma of racism and place it on this one man. You know what I'm saying? And let's just say, even if he was racist, his racism is helping defend this country where you live. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't understand. Joe Biden right now is fucking selling America out to China. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know what I mean? People not even seeing that. You know what I mean? Well, meanwhile, he was trying to protect this shit and build up arms, build up military. He pulled the funding from the World Health Organization so that Bill Gates and Anthony Fauci couldn't carry out their sinister plans. But people ain't seeing that. So he really cared about the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. People are not even, but all they got to do is just say he's racist. People get all emotional and all logic is out the window. They ain't trying to hear nothing. Oh, you're a Trump supporter. He's racist. All right, whatever, man. You just don't want to acknowledge the truth. And you don't want actual change. You want another actual racist president to keep selling you lies and keep you waiting on shit that ain't never going to happen. But Trump was coming in and actually doing shit. Yo, he donated millions of dollars to the HBCUs. If he's so racist, why would he help fund black people's education? Exactly. See what I'm saying? But people just, like I say, people want feel-good information. If you give them something that feels good and it satisfies their emotions, then they'll run with that, and they don't got to think logically and practical about nothing. So, whatever. But anyway, you know what I mean. Let's get back to this thing here. But I was saying basically though, as far as about the private though. How he doesn't have to expose anything because of his privacy. That's why it's called privacy. You know what I mean? And like King was saying about it's no big deal about public and private. It may not be, but then again it is, because like I said, in the public of things, everything is about trust, everything is about accounts. So they're basically operating your trust for you on the public side as public trustees and public custodians of public property, because that's what we are, state property. So now what it is that as far as coming into the private is showing that you're showing competency and that you're just basically going to operate your affairs in the private, so you don't need them anymore. That's all. That's basically all it is. You know what I mean? Showing that you're the age of majority and you're able to do things on your own. But like Morpheus said in the Matrix, people are so hopelessly dependent upon the system that they will fight to defend it.
Exactly. We have so many people that have laid down in cognitive dissonance and convenience. They will sit there and keep munching on their bag of processed foods and drinking their poisoned drinks and watching somebody else's dramatic life on the boob tube instead of paying attention to their own. Unless, of course, they hear the sirens. Then they'll peek their heads out and see that somebody's being pulled and yanked out of their house a couple blocks down the street. But never mind that. They're going to go back to the boob tube, eating their chips and drinking their poison, and then keep on doing it. Next thing you know, a couple nights later, they hear the sirens again. They look out the door and down the street on the other end of the block. Same thing. They're yanking somebody out of their house. They go back to watching their boob tube, and a couple nights later, the same thing. They hear the lights and sirens. They stick out their head, and lo and behold, right across the street, they're yanking their neighbor out by his hair and teeth. And they do the same thing. They go right back to the boob tube. Right. What are you going to do when they come knocking on your door?
Exactly. So they get that knock on their door, then they're going to be like, oh, shit, man. It's going to be a whole nother situation. That's what I was saying, too, even with this vaccine thing, they try to talk about making it mandatory and all that. And I'm like, yo, they could get on some old trying to quartering, how they did back in the days, coming door to door, enforcing military protocols and shit. Like, yo, this
that's what they're already doing.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because, you seen at the vaccine spots, they said they're going to have people from the military there. Like, what of all people? Why them? What, you have nurses and doctors and stuff, not military people, because it's a military operation.
Well, yeah, and where does a hospital come from? It comes from the need of having to mend people up from war fields. They were originally the MASH units out on the fields.
Mm.
See, doctors used to go door to door. They used to make house calls. The hospital itself is where many doctors can get together for life-saving events, whereas your regular physician went from door to door because somebody was sick or ill, not because they got shot up or their arm hacked in half from a sword or something.
Mm. Right.
Military is or the hospitals and public education, those are military institutions.
Yeah, right. That's how even how they say they discharge you from the hospital, same way you get discharged from the military. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? But that was deep to how you were saying about the release. You know what I'm saying? Not to be released. Like nah.
Oh yeah, you see that documentation when you're walking out of jail. It says release paperwork. It means they want you to do some work on that paper to release your personal services again without paying you. And what did they do? That's when they turn around and hand you the property back, which is your ID, putting you back in capacity of military identification. No thanks. I refuse to sign. Guess what? They still had to give everything back. Guess what? Now I'm in possession as beneficial interest holder, and I can prove it. And that my signature. Guess what? That signature involves health information. Guess what? That health information was induced to be given because I can prove I don't have an oath of office, which is a prerequisite in order to be able to perform the functions of public office, which is the definition of trade or business, a requirement of your statement of intent with a wet ink signature, thereby secondly certifying again your intent of the licensing under the oath. There is no such record. Certification is false. I'm sorry, I cannot fulfill the obligations that you pretend that I'm required to fulfill.
Mm.
You created an impossibility. I'm not supposed to be double-minded. I see how this is supposed to work, and according to that, I can't be double-minded and say, well, even though it says that and I'm not qualified to do it, I'm going to do it anyway.
Mm.
I can't do that. So yeah, it's like it says, open for signature. Right. See, that's like this electronic communication. Every time somebody punches a key, hits a keystroke, and presses a numbered key or other identifier, that's entering information into an electronic system that is regulated and says in its regulations that it is an intent to sign a document.
Mm.
So just by using an electronic device and entering in electronic information, this includes telephones. It's an electronic device. Did you know this internet, your IP address, did you know that's an international telecommunications line?
Mm.
That's just like them asking for a telephone number. I'm sorry, I can't give you that. That's an international identifier. You want me to give you an international identifier? You're going to pull in the international forum. We're going to go straight beyond the federal jurisdiction. We're going straight to UN and Nuremberg Code because you asked for that telecommunications number along with health information such as age, birth date, name, height, weight, eye color, hair color. You asked for the identification that gives that health information. Are you practicing under medicine? Is that why you requested that military medical information identified by Inland Marine Insurance as a Medicare qualified government employee under the SS5 Social Security application? Are you a warrant officer?
Right.
Is the information that you're requesting warranted?
Even the school is a military compound. Because remember back in the days, they used to have what's called the Truett officers, like when kids cut school they would come and round them up and bring them back to school, or either bring them to the parents' house and let them know, like, yo, your kid's cutting school. If this happens again, we're gonna arrest them. And you know what I mean? Back in the days, they used to do that. Yeah.
When it comes to flags, think about this: the courthouse, hospital, library, schools, any place that has a flag. In regards to flag,
Yeah, Pastor, I was going to say that earlier. My godbrother told me the other day. He said one of the definitions of a flag is a symbol of one who died in war. You know what I mean? The symbol or emblem of one who died in war, or something like that.
yeah, it's a token of respect or submission, and basically it's read because the submission is done in blood. But it also says, and I posted on this just tonight. I posted on flags and what it means and stuff, and it says flag staff, the staff that elevates the flag. So everywhere they elevate that United States flag, if you are attending under those regulations, you are part of that military staff.
So basically, by us acceding to certain treaties, that brings us under their military staff. So
Correct.
that's why I was being careful. I'm a fine tooth comb the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, because I don't remember something. It says something there about something I don't know about, like something military, because it's admiralty. It's dealing with admiralty. You know what I mean? That's the law of the sea, and that's like basically piracy in many forms. You know
I just posted on that today too. Let me pull it up.
Yeah. You sent me a quote. I read through it briefly, but I didn't really like go and like research on it. I'm gonna take this down for a sec. I'll be right with you 1 second. Yeah, Keith, you got a picture of your your organization symbol in your download in your computer?
Yeah.
Go to the what you call it real fast. You see the button next to the after the share button with the 3 dots on it.
Yeah.
Click on there. Go to change background, and then when you go up to the top of it, you see the button that it says the plus sign. You click on there to add a what you call it. Then you're gonna go on your computer, go into your file, and upload the picture, and that'll be your backdrop. You can have your symbol on your thing. And you know, when I label these videos, I put the name of my international organization and the name of your faith-based union on your what you call it, to show international meetings, to show treaty. Like every time we do this, it's like treaty, you know what I'm saying, between organizations. So I just use that to express it on a worldwide forum, which is internet forum, so it's an international forum, showing you know, international organization. I was looking up the other night too. I got a few documents to send you. So I sent you some stuff in the email too, and I sent it to somebody else too. And I thought, like, damn, I sent him all this stuff, man. I shouldn't have sent that shit to him. But anyway, because some motherfuckers be unappreciative. You know what I'm saying? You send them stuff, man, and they be like, oh, yeah, thank you. And then they try to act like they already knew all this. And like I said, I'm not on that like, oh, I knew this first type stuff. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Don't try to run with the info, man. Like, you know, try to act like, you know, like, like you ain't appreciative of what was given, and then you just like, oh, all right, bye, nigga, like, yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. Hey, man.
Can't remember what I called it. I know I've got it in here somewhere.
And too, you could like, just go on the like you see the different backdrops I be posting. Like I just go on the internet and find different pictures I like or whatever, upload them to the phone and use them as backdrops, backgrounds.
Okay, well, let's do this.
You know what? We reached the hour mark. I'm gonna tune out, and while you're doing that, I'm gonna bring you back in.
All right, sounds good, brother.
All right, peace.